Hello, everyone. It's Kristen Redmond, Astrological Intuitive, and today we are going to go over the planetary influences affecting us for the upcoming week of January 22nd through the 28th. Now, this is a week that is kind of full of some fiery energy. I tell you what, because we are leading up to the first full moon of 2024, the Leo full moon. And of course, Leo is a fiery sign. And I'm not just saying it's a fiery moon because it's a fiery full moon. I'm saying that because we have a lot of planets that are going to be pushing at it and prodding at it, and they are working on I don't know, I want to say a more difficult aspect with the moon this week. And it brings a lot of things to light, right? Because that's kind of what full moons do anyway, don't they? Full moons are a time when the sun and the moon are in complete opposition of one another. And so what happens is that moon out there in the sky, every single crook and cranny and nook and divot are illuminated. And it takes that same energy on in our own lives as well too, right? It shows us where all the cracks and things that we really are either hiding from or are hidden from us, they come to light. They come to the surface at the time of full moons. It's always a time when energies are a little bit more stressful, right? You will agree, right? Full moons are when hospitals are full. It's when police stations are full. It's when people are filing for divorce more. It's just a time when things just reach a breaking point. And with it being the Leo full moon, it carries that flavor and that energy of being appreciated. It's where things kind of reach that breaking point where it goes, how much of my giving, my love, right? That's what Leo kind of handles, the contributions that I am making and the person that I am. How am I not feeling seen, heard, or appreciated for them? And so this week, we've got planets out there in the sky that are squaring up against the moon leading up to Thursday, the 25th, which is when the full moon actually happens. We have Neptune that's going to be squaring up against that. Now, Neptune is the planet that when it makes a negative impact on its shadow side, it can kind of bring through a little bit of fog. It can bring some confusion. So you may find this week that, and it also can uncover things as well too. So you may find at the beginning of the week, some of these things start to surface. Maybe you have a dream, right? Because Neptune deals with dreams as well too. Maybe there's a dream that comes up and it makes you kind of question, what in the heck is that? What is it saying? It's a planet of mysticism. So it's going to help us really try to pull out our spiritual energy and our spiritual resources around us to kind of find some clarity and some answers. Now, on its shadow side, though, it may make us make things worse than what they are as well, too. So let's just be careful to not be a little emotionally overreactive in this energy, because it's going to be a little bit emotional anyway, but that's just a little bit of something with that moon working with that. Now, moon is also going to be making some tough aspects, okay, with Mercury, the planet of the mind, Mars, the planet of how we assert ourselves, and Pluto, that planet of power and control. So this is a week where these things really start to percolate to the surface. And I think it's on purpose, right? Now, Leo is a sign of confidence, right? And it's about being able to stand up for ourselves when we need to. But on its shadow side, it'll be meek and it'll hide those things in. And it doesn't want to rock the boat and it doesn't want to stand up. So when we have these planets making these tough impacts, they are literally bringing it up to the surface, right? The planet of the mind, it's making us want to communicate it with Mercury. We've got Mars, and it's like that red hot poker that's pushing us on the inside to get these things out. Why it's trying to get them out, right, is because full moons are when we release the things that don't work for us. Now, what doesn't work for us, right? We're looking at the energy of Leo with it. Leo is a sign that deals with karma, with our karmic past lives, right? With esoteric information. Maybe we're looking to the past, whether it's a past life or our own physical past, this own lifetime, of maybe some outdated belief systems, maybe some patterns that we find ourselves in that just don't work for us anymore. Patterns that we land ourselves in personally, maybe it's our belief systems, but maybe it's karmic relationships that we kind of get into. Maybe it's a pattern with that. Maybe it's a pattern in how we assert ourselves, right? Maybe that's Mars coming through this week and pushing on you as well too. Where am I standing up for myself? Maybe I'm overly standing up for myself. Maybe I'm pushing people away with my energy. This is where that full moon really brings it to light and asks for us to really let that go, to release those things into the moon. Because when we release them in these full moon energies, it just works with us a little bit better. We can release these things at any point. We can realize these things at any point, but it's just a little bit stronger at these full moons. Now, this full moon is going to impact our Leo friends, of course, the most because it's your full moon, but it also impacts our Aquarius friends, which is the opposing side of Leo as well. It's the opposing sign, but it affects all of us, right? It brings all of the outdated energies from 2023 and it's ready to release them. It's bringing them to a culminating head, and this is going to be that first moon to really let that out. Now, not just that, but this is also where some seeds were put and planted in the summer of last year that can come to fruition, especially if they were around things where it had to deal with what makes you happy. Maybe you realized then that you wanted a different job. Maybe you wanted a change in your relationship. Maybe you wanted to be able to um, have the confidence or the energy or the courage to really start pursuing some goals of your own. Maybe you want to start that business. Maybe you want to implement something new in your business. The energies this week are really pushing you to do that. And this full moon gives you the confidence to really start to bring that out into the surface. It's a wonderful type of energy that we have going on. But in the meantime, because there's all these difficult energies, this is a week where I just see we're going to be quick to anger, quick to frustration, quick to irritation. We're not going to be as lenient. We're just going to be a little bit frustrated. And I think in those times, we just need to breathe, right? We need to be aware and we need to breathe and recognize and ask ourselves and our higher self, what is this trying to show me? What is this trying to tell me? What do I need to shift and do I need to change, right? So not just that, right? Like I said, Leo is the sign of happiness. So this is a week where we're saying, what types of things are making me happy? It's the sign that's confident in being who you are. And so this full moon really is starting to bring the light, along with a lot of other energies that are happening this year as well, too, about what is true and authentic to who you are now. Are the people around you true and authentic to who you are now? Do they appreciate you for who you are? Or are they trying to fit you into a mold of what they need you to be? This can be relationship, this can be work, this can be a lot of different ways, right? It's going to be different for everybody out there. But think of it like that, right? Where might this full moon being asking you to release some of these people or systems that don't really work for you? That could very well be an issue as well too, right? Just be proud of who you are. That's what this full moon is saying. And have the confidence and courage to let people know if your heart has been hurt, because Leo rules the heart, right? This is a very interesting week, of course, anytime we have a full moon, but know that you can let these things go. If you want to hear more about the full moon, I have a moon or a video all about that up here as well, and I've got the link below for that, but be sure to watch that too. But no matter what, right, we have all of these energies that are getting stirred up, activated. We're saying, hey, I don't know if I'm feeling really appreciated. I don't know if I appreciate myself. It's a time to give love, right? Because like I said, this is Leo. So it's about giving a little extra attention to your heart center, whether that's doing a meditation, whether it's just putting your hands on your heart and giving love back to yourself, or opening up to the love that's available to all of us from the universe, and accepting that into your heart center, bringing balance to that. That, of course, is what the full moon energy is all about, too. And knowing that at the end of the week, we have Jupiter and Venus. So we have the planet of luck and the planet of love and money really working in harmony to bring some loving energies through this weekend. This is huge. This is great. These are things that happen a few times a year where these two make some happy connections with each other. And it really is. It's going to bring some beneficial energy through. So if this is something where the full moon brings that anger to the surface and you have those conversations and you say what it is that you need, there is some healing energy that can happen at the end of the week to bring some harmony back in and to really make it so that you can be heard, so you can be happy. right? The Leo type of energy. So really that's the main stuff that's happening this week. Just be sure to give yourself a little bit of grace and a little bit of patience, as well as the people around you too. And just to listen to what your dreams and your higher self are trying to tell you, right? In those times, and especially for myself, right? Myself, especially when I get overwhelmed by circumstance or something that's happening in the moment, or I'm afraid, or I don't know what to do. Of course, I always I always pray to God, or, whatever anybody's belief is, you do what it is that you do. But myself personally, what I do is I will just connect with my angels then, and I'll say, help me to know which decision to make. What brings me peace? I was just having this conversation with some friends the other day too. It's so true, right? We can get the guidance we need. We just got to bring our energy down a little bit to hear it. So just be mindful of that this week, that just sit with what brings you peace. Especially if you're starting to recognize people that are constantly taking that peace or that happiness from you, a job that might be taking that peace or happiness from you, you're not being appreciated. Sit with that and go, okay, what happens if I stay? What happens if I go? What type of peace do you feel inside of you? You are getting the answers through how you feel in that moment. Ask to not let your ego get in the way, right? Because that's the shadow side of Leo. It's the ego. It's our mind telling us, Don't do that. Just say, take my ego out of this. Let my spirit and my higher self bring this message through. Does staying bring me peace? How do you feel? Does leaving bring me peace? How do you feel? And you'll get your answers that way too. There's lots of ways that we get these things. But so really those are the only planetary aspects that are happening this week. But I always like to pull cards in my weekly readings as well too, just to get a little bit of insight and affirmation for the things to hold on to for the week. So the first one I'm going to do is these moon cards from What's Her Butt, Yasmin Bolin. They're great cards. They're moon cards. I love to do them in readings with people. So we're just going to say, what is the message of this full moon? Maybe even beyond what we just already know, right? So let's look at it here. I'm going to do this 5 times because Leo rules the 5th house in astrology. So one more. Let's see what we got up in here. Adjustments are required, right? And I think that's part of this too, right? We look at this. This says it's the 3rd quarter moon. But maybe it's telling us that we are recognizing what comes to the surface and we need to make those adjustments in order for the change to come, right? We're going to have to make sacrifices. There's something we're going to have to let go of or do in order for this new to come in, right? Maybe we're starting to realize what does need to change in relationship or work, or what we need to ask for, what is required, to make this shift and this change. And here I'm pulling just a couple of tarot cards. I think I'm just going to intuitively pull as many right now. I'm just feeling like 2 is what's going to come out, but maybe there's more. And maybe just a little bit more insight on what this Leo full moon ultimately is showing us here. All right. One more. I just felt it. Okay. I love this, right? The Empress, right? The Empress is a card that is about abundance, right? It's about having all the resources that we need. It's about trusting what our instincts are telling us, because we got the water going through right here. And it's about being full with all the things that we need. Right here we got the planet Venus. Right here on her shield of protection. Her heart is protecting her. And ultimately there's positive energy behind in the background, right? Venus, we know at the end of the week, is going to be making a positive connection with Jupiter, which is the planet of abundance. I think ultimately what this is telling us, that these adjustments that we're making are going to bring through some good things ultimately, right? I think we're just getting validation with the Venus here and this positive energy there as well, that we have this ability to birth new things out of whatever it is we need to let go of. So maybe it's a new beginning in a relationship. Maybe it is a new relationship. Maybe it's a new beginning in our circumstances at work. Maybe it's asking for a raise, because this is Venus, the planet of money as well as love. And Jupiter makes these opportunities come through. And that's kind of what this card also means as well. That yes, we let these things go. Look at what I pulled, the death card, letting things go, right? We're recognizing where things don't work anymore and that something has to be sacrificed in order for the new to come in, and ultimately it brings good things. I like this card as well too. I'm going to end it with this because this is actually a Leo card. This deals with the first week of August. So this is a card of recognition, being recognized for our efforts, having that come through, right? And that's kind of that motivating factor of the whole week anyway, is knowing just to be able to hear that we are acknowledged for our efforts, for our work, for our love, for our contributions in our life. And this is the card that says that we can get that, right? Maybe some adjustments are required, but ultimately, whatever it is we need to do, maybe we have to let go of our expectations. Maybe that's it too. It's not always the other person. Maybe it's something inside of ourselves, right? That we have to let go of, make that adjustment in order for all this wonderful stuff to come in and we can all work together. So really, I think those are pretty positive cards, and they really fit in with the theme of this week as well too. So thank you everybody for watching. Come in next week and we can learn a little bit more for what the planets have in store for us for the following week as well. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Thank you.